Hello friends, today I'll talk about my most favorite plant. It's an orchid. My orchid is already 5 years. It's located always here in this room and I'm very pleased that it is almost always in blossom. For this period of time there was no blossom for only some months. Mostly it is in blossom throughout the year. Right now you see an active flowering spike, and new ones will appear in blossom in a week. I have some photos where simultaneously more than 100 blossoms on my orchid were. It's amazing, exciting sight. How could I get this result? Firstly, it's a place where an orchid is growing. You shouldn't put it on the south window sill directly in the sun, otherwise your orchid will get sunburns on leaves and your plant can die. It's better to put it on the east or west window sill. In my case, my windows are facing south and I had to put away my orchid from there and move it on this coffee table, and I think it likes to be here. It's the first step for this successful realization. Secondly is the correct watering. In the summer I watered once per 7 days, in the winter once in 10-15 days. It depends on my orchid condition. If these first blossoms begin to wither and dry out, it means there is a lack of moisture. It tries to put away all extra. Or if leaves don't be like hairs and they are becoming soft and dry out, it means a lack of moisture. It's one of the reasons. And we should water an orchid. You should understand that it can be just because blossoms are already old and they are drying out. There are two ways to water an orchid. The first one is just pouring water through root system, and the second way is immersing the roots into water with fertilizer. I use the second one. This orchid pot consists of two parts, internal and external. The external is airtight and the internal pot has some drainage pores. In the inside pot there is bark of trees and my plant lives in it. I pour water with orchid fertilizer. I use this one. I kept fertilizer Pro 1 watering into the outside pot, and I immerse the roots into this pot with water and fertilizer and leave it for around 15-20 minutes, and in a while, a little bit later, I'll show you how I do this. After feeding or just watering, I put out the orchid and let the extra water run away, and I turn the plant back. That's all. Orchid care is extremely simple. Some people do not get the same result and don't understand why. And one more thing, my orchid is already not young and it has some side branches. They can be independent plants if you separate them from the mother stem. I don't do this, and currently I have 5 branches on the mother root, and by turn they have bloom spikes. The old one is in blossom now, and one more branch has a spike, and soon two will be in blossom too. I think here around 50 or more blossoms will appear in a week, and in a while this and that branch will have more spikes, and my orchid is always blooming. And if you would like your orchid to have a lot of blossoms and make you happy, try not to oppress it, cut it off, let it grow. That's just my opinion. But if you need to breed more orchids, then of course you should separate them and plant watering.
Значит, вытаскиваем.
Pull out the inside part and pour some water into the outside pot, that when you immerse the inside pot with orchid into it, it will be enough not to spill over. Then add some orchid fertilizer, nearly 5 grams. And then immerse this pot into the external one.
Обратите внимание, вот уровень водички.
For your attention, here's the level of the water, almost completely filled, and leave the orchid for 15-20 minutes, that the bark of trees is saturated with the water, and then this bark will feed the roots. In 15 minutes, pull out the inside pot. I also pour this water with fertilizer through root system, and then the rest of water runs out through the holes on the bottom of the inside pot. I water the orchid this way. It's better to do this outdoors, of course, in the summer at least. That's all. Now I let the rest of water runs away. And it's better for this to tilt the pot slightly. After the water drained out finally, then move back the orchid on its normal place. That's all. As you see, watering is not difficult. What you watched will be, I think, useful for you in a while. You can use my experience or suggest your own way. Then welcome to my site, MyHobby.Pro. Ask me and make topics for discussion. Let's communicate and share our experience, that our plans make us and our friends happy. It's always nice. Thank you for your interest. Good luck. Goodbye.